Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we are back with another exciting episode of Crusader Kings 2 Eastern Roman Empire. Where we last left off, we were waiting for truces to tick down. Our truce with the Seljuks has finally ticked down, in fact. So we're going to be able to finally get the last little realm, the last little chunk of Jaziria. Or Jaziria? Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. That's how I'm going to pronounce it anyway, at least for this episode. So we're going to get the last little chunk of that back in our realm where it obviously rightfully belongs. How the Seljuks have been able to actually administer this region, I'm kind of at a loss, because I don't imagine we'd be letting them through our territory. Anyway, that's a question for another day. What we're also probably going to do, even though, you know, usurping the title of the King of Syria is technically Queen of Syria, wasn't really the best idea. Perhaps Georgia will be a better idea, and really what I'm looking to do is to get the Duke of Kartli. However, that appears that the Duke of Kartli is also the King of Georgia. So that might not work, but I want to kind of dismantle this and see if we can't at least get the imperial borders looking something sensical, you know, which is why I'm focusing on Kartli. We need Tau and Kakheti? Please, if you know how to pronounce that, let me know in the comments. Doesn't mean I'm going to actually pronounce it correctly, but that's quite the word. Quite the place name, I guess, would be the correct way to look at that. Apologies for the cat in the background. Deal with it. I have to, so you do too. So I guess, yeah, the first things first, let's go to war with the Seljuks for the last little bit of our territory. Seems like a good idea. You, sir. Declare war for our de jure claim on Amadia. That's that. Alright, so we can get our retinues in there to start sieging right away while we raise up the rest of our armies. And now let's do some proper selections here. And we'll get sort of these guys down and around here. There's enough of them now that we might as well make them their own little military unit. Or own little army. Basically just, you know, trying to figure out the best way to organize all these damn vassals, because there are a lot of them. And we're getting quite a lot of troops from these guys, especially in Europe, which I do appreciate. You get it? Do? Yeah, you guys get it. Alright. I'll send you that way. We can get some boats from you, because you've got a lot of them. 67 boats. That is, in a word, insanity. How much have we got in Malta? Can we do this effectively? Probably not. Although that'll give me 1,500 troops. We will hit that as soon as we get to Cyprus. So I guess we're just going to need some more boats over there. 74 will be enough, but we need to get Malta over there. So, yeah. Tricks of the trade. That should be everyone on the move, except for the island nations, who we'll just snag later. And I don't really think we're going to need the island nations. I'm just bringing them in this fight because it's probably going to be a little while before we have another fight. I assume. Probably what's going to happen is some dick's going to decide to become the king of Syria and overthrow. So let's try this. I was trying right click before. I would have assumed that right click would have brought up a menu, but it doesn't. Let's go control click. That is absolutely how you do it. Control click shuts down everything. What do we got? 13,000 men marching in, going up against really not enough. So let's send you guys up there, because I think that might be a better bet. There we go. Hopefully they can make it. That army should be moving slowly, so I'm going to imagine they can make it. You can go meet up with them, and we can get rid of your boats, because we don't need them anymore. We got some more men. You can see we're just under the limit that Malta gave us, which means by the time we get to Cyprus, bad things are going to happen. Let's merge those guys together. There we go. We got another 1,500 from Cyprus, so it's a good thing we got more boats. More boats is good. Almost 3,000 troops, which could make a difference. don't necessarily think it's going to make a huge difference, but it could. Probably there, although we still have quite a few troops moving into Amadia here. Certainly more so than the Seljuks can handle, which is exactly what I like. Hitting him in waves. Waves of fresh troops. The never-ending march of the Byzantine Empire. I likes it. Bishop Germanos of Cariopolis claims that he would be a better ecclesiarch than ecumenical patriarch Cosmas. But Cosmas likes me. He's the first guy who actually likes me. A lot. Although, you know, Germanos here does raise a good point. We've got a shy, content, cynical, brave impaler, and we could replace it with a scholar, kind, just, brave, and zealous. That does sound like a better ecumenical patriarch. So he is my new ecclesiarch. Man, these words. Ancient religions. I guess not really ancient. The time frame there is just a little bit off, but just, I guess, religions in general. Using complicated titles. Merge those guys together. And let's get Theodorus out of that and perhaps put a good general in his place. I think that seems like a very good idea. We've got you guys leading. So now we'll do that. And that should be good. I'm going to assume we have enough leaders there. We do not. So we will put Mezwar. There we go. Malta getting involved. Alright, well, let's move these guys, I guess, probably there. Merge those guys together, and we can move these guys down here. The 11,000, 10,000 now Seljuk men are not going to really be able to do too much damage to us, which is good. I like it. I guess he's just going to sit there and wait. We can avoid a river crossing penalty here, actually, I think. If we come in from Vasprukin into Nizaban, or Nizabin, that is B-I-N, then, yeah, things should be good. Looks like we're pregnant again, so that's good news. Although I am pretty keen on Iona here, and, let's get to her. Oh, well, she's married, so that doesn't really matter, but for Iulia here, if we need to. Wait a second. Okay. Well, we'll see how Dukas does. That was his name, right? It was. Okay. Let's just send you in against them. And we'll see what kind of kid Dukas grows up to be. We know Ione is going to be a fairly decent empress. All things considered, she's got very, very, very good diplomacy. I may have stressed that a little bit too much. 17, that is some pretty good diplomacy. In the chaos of battle, your men have managed to quarter Goshtazb. He resisted bravely before they slew him. Good riddance. I always want to quote Men in Tights. Is it Men in Tights? Good riddance to bad rubbish? I think that's for Men in Tights. Good riddance to bad rubbish. I love it. Okay, so we captured some new guy. That's good. And you are going into Vasprukin. I think I'm going to follow you. For reasons. And we've got 12,000 men sitting there. Well, not for long. Not for long at all. We're already sitting at a 20% war score, so things are going fairly well. Who did we lose? We lost our Mysticos. So let's, father-in-law. Well, I guess, yeah, we are all related, aren't we? And he's a kinslayer, but look at that. That is pretty decent. Then I guess I shouldn't judge kinslaying. We are kinslayers as well. You can go ahead and scheme there, my father-in-law / some distant relation. Constantinople's looking all right. We do need to concentrate on getting Blasharne here up. And, of course, well, we got a university in Herion. So we might be putting universities other places. We might not. I don't know. We'll see. Money hasn't exactly been flowing like it usually does for me. Is that an heir? To the old... I think it was this guy? No, unfortunately, no relation. Damn. I was hopeful. Where are you going? To win? I don't think so. You might make it to there or even into Azerbaijan, so let's just follow into Dwin. Just stomp these guys down. A couple more holdings to siege, and we should be sitting at 100%. Actually, no, you're going into there. So we'll just follow you there. There we go. Oh, I guess that'll stop you, won't it? 16th of October. How long before you get out? Doesn't matter. We're going to kill you. And now you're heading into Dwin, so we will follow. And we've wiped out that army in the south. Perfect. Come at me, bro. We've got another daughter, Demiane. It's, I guess, a pretty name. I don't know. I can't really judge medieval names. Army of Balaban? Am I hostile to Kuwait? Are they allied? I guess they are. Kuwait is allied to the Seljuks, and that is quite a lot of troops coming from Kuwait, considering, what, 2 province minor? 20 some odd? Oh, okay, that's why. I was gonna say, that don't make no sense. But it does. It makes perfect sense. The Kuwaiti was probably just a really good leader. Alright, one more holding to knock down. We could probably just hack it down, but we don't necessarily need to lose all these troops fighting off a siege. Looks like their numbers have shrunk, which is good. Oh, maybe not. You're coming in? Okay. I see the game you're playing. Into Kirkuk or Kirkuk. Yeah, you guys want to fight? I don't know number-wise how I'm going to stack up here against them. 20. Yeah, that's not really good numbers-wise. So let's split and take some into Kurd. No, Mosul, because I think you're heading for some Samara. So we'll split those guys up, hopefully not taking too much in the way of attrition. And it doesn't look like those guys are taking attrition, which is kind of confusing me. Alright, well, we're gonna... Oh, you're gonna continue on with that assault, are you? Okay. That's just fine. You want to throw your troops away, go right ahead. And now we've got the numerical superiority. 26th. They're there, and we've got some handy-dandy vassals slowing them down just a little bit. You want to come in and fight in Mosul? Well, come on. We can get some reinforcements ready just in case they're needed. But we should have this in the bag, I would assume. Their leaders aren't all that great. Ours are much, much better. I'm not sure about troop quality, but I'm just going to assume that mine are better because I can do that. There's nothing wrong with taking a vested interest in making sure your armies are the best. Alright. And that really didn't add much to our war score, taking them out like that. But it should be ticking now, because we do hold the lands that we want to hold. Our vassals are busy fighting each other, so nothing we need to really worry about there. What have you got for me? You surrender, I would imagine. We accept your terms. Beautiful. Let's go to this page, make sure everybody gets disbanded. And our retinue didn't take that big of a hit, so we won't spend too much money bringing them back up to snuff, which is good. And just taking a look at the time, I'm glad I didn't do this little conquest in the last video, because there would not have been enough time to do it. Alright, well, we've finally cleared up the interior of our borders, so we're one contiguous empire with nobody inside of us, which is good. The next step, obviously... Well, I mean, it's tempting to continue and to push into Damascus here. that is something that would probably be a good idea. It looks like Jerusalem might even be having to deal with some revolters here, which is interesting. Hopefully they break off so we can just sneak in and snag them easily. Let them rot. Let's check our prisoners, see what kind of money we can make. 25 gold we'll take. And 26 gold we'll take. That's about it, huh? Alright, well, we'll wait for those two to come back and say, hey, here's your money, and see if we can't get some money from other people. 50 gold, easily enough. Yeah, we can snag that. I thought we already did that. You accept. Good. And that looks to be about it. So, let's see. Banish, we'll take your gold. Oh, will we ever? Is there anyone else we can banish? 500 gold. That is nothing to laugh at. Why, with the money we've got, we could absolutely afford a university in Deuteron or in Pempton, but I think upgrading Blacharnay here would be a better idea. Maybe throw money to keep, although training grounds is always good to get too, because you want some well-trained troops, that is for certain. We've got 7 kingdom titles we can create. I'm fairly confident my vassals will be a little upset with that. What have we got here? Truces are expiring. We got 50 some odd days left before we could go to war for Damascus. And that might be a good idea, but I think what I want to do is usurp the title of the Kingdom of Georgia. If we check the de jure empire, their lands are obviously meant to be a part of ours. There's no question of that. I took a good look at myself and thought about my weaknesses and strengths. After many hours of soul searching, I realized that I've got nothing to be ashamed of, or I have many strengths, but more weaknesses. So we can gain some monthly piety, and same trait opinion. Of course, opposite traits won't be all that keen on it. We are a flamboyant schemer, who's a kinslayer, honest, envious, shy, and temperate. Humble wouldn't be out of character, I think, for someone like this. So I think that's just fine. Yay! She's gained the humble trait. And still no child for Ionia, which is just fine. Things seem to be rolling fairly well. We've got everyone who can vote in the elections for Syria agreeing that she is the best candidate, and pretty much all of our vassals quite like her too. So that's good. Yeah. So what to do? Do we declare war? Well, yeah, we've got the truce gone now, don't we? So it's just with the Crimea, which might not be a bad thing to take either. We'd have to take this section, it looks like Moldavia and Wallachia from the Rus to connect them, but then we'd have a true contiguous empire. Well, I mean, I guess technically you could walk from Constantinople up into Crimea, but it would be one heck of a long walk. It would be quicker to go the western route than the big long eastern route. Well, if I'm thinking about transport, it would be the best route just to take a ship. Yeah, I think we got to go for Damascus next. Because I got to remember that the goal here is to get the Levant and the Holy Land and this area under our control, and then probably the rest of Saudi Arabia, which shouldn't be that difficult. And we can clean up the borders with the Seljuks. Because I wouldn't mind, like, I mean, I'm not against leaving the Seljuks sort of in this region here, but just controlling not only Constantinople and Alexandria, but the rest of the trade that's going to be flowing in here come EU4 time. That's kind of the goal, to set ourselves up as the great middle ground between the Western European lands and the rest of the world. Of course, that will change once the North Americans show up. I do have Sunset Invasion turned on, so that'll add a little bit of an interest into the Western regions. And hopefully a good counterweight. against this ridiculous Holy Roman Empire, because that thing is huge. I wonder, what is the Emperor's troops looking like? 54,000. Or is it the bottom one? $54,000 compared to our... Yeah, I mean, that would be one hell of a fight. I'm not quite ready to take them on yet, but I'm sure eventually we could. Anyway, I'm just sitting here jibber-jabbering away, aren't I? We got a war to go on. For Damascus, do we want to do that? How's our troops looking? We could probably do to give it some time, let our troops replenish, and in the meantime, in between time... Ow. Why are you guys at war with Hungary? Okay, what was I just talking about? That is bizarre. Dear cousin, your low character is the subject of Greek plays. This is a formal declaration of war. Our armies shall meet on the battlefield. Holy Roman claim on the Byzantine Empire. This is going to be one hell of a fight. Well, it may be a short episode today, but I think that's going to be a good place to leave it. One thing I do want to do, all things considered, just get my retinue up to 8,000 men. I think we're going to need it. Man, I'm flabbergasted that the Holy Roman Empire did that. I'm very, very interested to see where this goes. Because it could bode incredibly well for us. We could get quite a victory. Excuse me. But, yeah, wow, that's... I did not see that coming. Alright, guys, well... I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thumbs up if you did. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Certainly leave some tips on how to beat up on the HRE. That's crazy balls. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.